Welcome to She Wins, Women, Wealth, Wisdom, and Legacy, the podcast where financial empowerment meets fearless living. If you're a woman who's built a life with purpose and is ready to align your wealth with what matters most, you're in the right place. Your host, Carol Eddy, is a certified financial planner, financial educator, and passionate advocate for helping women live fearlessly and leave a legacy. Whether they are preparing for retirement, managing an inheritance, or simply looking for trustworthy financial guidance, Carol has helped her clients feel confident in their financial plan for over 25 years. Each week, she'll share insights and practical strategies to help you create financial freedom, navigate smart money choices, master your money mindset, and make winning decisions now and for the next chapter of your life. No intimidation, no overwhelm, no jargon, just wisdom, clarity, and the confidence to manage your wealth, embrace your power, and craft a future you love. Welcome to the show.
Hi friends, and welcome back. If you're new here, I want to tell you right up front, this is a safe space to talk about money, not in a cold, numbers-only way, but in a way that connects to your life, your heart, and your future. Today's episode is one I know will strike a chord with many of you. We're talking about inheritance. For some of you listening, you already know money is coming, maybe from your parents, maybe from a spouse, maybe from another family member. You might have even had conversations about it with them. And yet, I'll bet there's still this little knot in your stomach that says, what do I actually do when the check arrives? How do I handle it without making a mistake? And how do I balance the emotions of loss with the responsibility of managing new wealth? Because here's the truth. Inheriting money is not just a financial event. It is an emotional journey. Over the past 25 plus years, I've walked alongside many women inheriting anywhere from a few $100,000 to several million. And I've seen it all, the good, the bad, and the heartbreaking. So today, I want to give you a clear roadmap, financial steps, emotional insights, and stories that will help you prepare before the check clears. And at the end, I'll tell you about how to download my Inheritance Readiness Checklist, a free tool that I created to make sure you have everything in place before that moment arrives. So let's dive in. Part 1, why inheritance is more complicated than it looks. On the surface, it sounds simple, right? Someone passes, their assets transfer to you, and suddenly you're wealthier. But here's what I've seen. Inheritance is never just about money. It's about meaning, memory, and responsibility. Here are a couple examples. Lynn was 58 when her father passed away. She thought he lived modestly. She expected maybe a little life insurance money, perhaps some savings. Instead, she inherited over $3 million in a mix of investments, property, and a small business interest. Her words 2 weeks later were unforgettable. I feel like I'm carrying my dad's entire life inside these accounts. Every dollar feels heavy. She was grieving. She was overwhelmed. And she was terrified of making the wrong move. This is why I tell women, it's not just dollars. It's a legacy wrapped in emotion. And then there's Anna. Anna inherited a large family home. She wanted to keep it. Her brother wanted to sell. Suddenly, the inheritance wasn't just about money. It was about family conflict, values, and memories. Part 2, the emotional side of inheritance. Before we ever talk about numbers, we need to acknowledge the feelings, because if we don't, those feelings will run the show. Here are the most common emotions I see. Number 1, grief and guilt. You're receiving this money because someone died. That's heavy. Many women tell me they feel guilty even thinking about the money so soon after. One client said, it feels wrong to plan what to do with mom's money when I'd give it all back just to have her here. That's real. And that's why the first step is giving yourself permission to grieve and prepare at the same time. They're not opposites. You can do both. Number 2, pressure to honor their memory. I often hear, I don't want to waste this gift. I want to do what Dad would have wanted. But here's the tricky part. Sometimes honoring their memory means making choices that fit your life, not theirs. For example, if your father loved real estate, but you hate dealing with tenants, It may not honor him to force yourself into landlord stress and all the other things that go along with that. Instead, honoring him might look like investing the proceeds wisely so they serve your goals. Number 3, family expectations. This one's tough. If siblings or extended family know you've inherited, there may be a subtle or not so subtle expectation. A sibling may expect you to help out. A cousin may assume that you'll keep the property in the family. A child may suddenly ask for a loan. If you're not prepared, these expectations can derail your peace. This is why preparation matters. So when the moment comes, you're making choices from clarity, not pressure. Part 3, financial readiness. All right, let's shift gears to the practical side. Here are the steps to take before the inheritance arrives. Number 1, get organized. Make a list of your current accounts and assets. Gather your estate documents, wills, trusts, powers of attorney, and then create a secure folder for any information about a future inheritance. Marie, age 62, already had her financial life organized when she inherited $1.5 million from an aunt. Because she was ready, she could immediately see how that money fit into her retirement plan instead of feeling lost. Step 2, understand what types of assets you might receive. So the types could be cash, which is easy to handle but requires a plan. Investments may have tax implications when sold, and real estate can be a blessing or a burden. And then there are business interests, often require quick, complex decisions. Dana inherited part of a vacation property. Without preparation, she would have been stuck paying taxes and upkeep. Because she had a plan, she sold her share in a way that honored her the family but protected her finances. Step 3, build your advisory team. Before the money arrives, know who you're going to lean on. A CFP to create the big picture plan, a CPA to manage taxes, and an estate attorney for legal title transfers. Step 4, know the tax picture. Most inheritance aren't taxed as income, but IRAs, 401ks, and certain accounts do have withdrawal rules. Real estate and stocks may involve capital gains. For example, Julie inherited her father's IRA. She almost withdrew it all at once, which would have triggered a massive tax bill. Instead, we structured withdrawals over 10 years, saving her hundreds of thousands. Step 5, decide where the money will live. When you first receive funds, you don't need to rush into investing. For many clients, we put the money into a safe, high-yield savings account or short-term investments or money market. Think of it as a waiting room until you're ready to make long-term decisions. Part 4, the She Wins process applied to inheritance. Here's how my signature process helps. I use the acronym She Wins. The first part is secure, which means protect assets quickly, safe accounts, insurance, proper titles. Harmonize, align inherited wealth with your personal values. E is empower, use the windfall to create options, not obligations. W is wealth build. Invest wisely for growth and income. I is for inspire. Decide how this money can impact causes or family. N is nurture. Keep checking in, adjusting, and staying intentional. And S, sustain. Build long-term habits that keep you financially confident. Part 5, common mistakes to avoid. Number 1, spending too quickly. I once worked with a woman who spent nearly half of her inheritance on gifts to family within 6 months. Years later, she regretted not securing her own retirement first. Number 2, not updating your own estate plan. If you inherit millions, your own will or trust suddenly needs updating. Otherwise, you risk passing chaos to your heirs. Number 3, letting family pressure decide. Trust your intuition first and get guidance from a holistic financial advisor. It helps to have someone outside the family discuss the pros and cons of decisions you have to make. If you keep the assets you don't want just to make siblings happy, you're setting yourself up for resentment. Part 6, the empowering mindset shift. At the heart of this is one of the simple truths. This money is a gift. It doesn't mean you have to be perfect. It doesn't mean you owe everyone else. It means you now have the responsibility and the privilege of stewarding it well. I tell my clients, you can honor the giver by making choices that sustain you and allow you to continue their legacy in your way. So let's recap. Inheritance isn't just about numbers. It's about navigating emotions, family dynamics, and big decisions. By preparing now, you can receive that gift with clarity and confidence. And to make it simple, I've created the Inheritance Readiness Checklist. It walks you through the exact steps we just talked about today. You can download it from the show notes. If today's episode spoke to you, would you do me a favor? Subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. Share it with a friend who might be facing an inheritance. And if you leave a review, it helps more women like you find clarity and peace with their wealth. Until next time, remember, she wins when she's prepared. She wins when she chooses wisely. And she wins when she builds a legacy that lasts. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for joining us today for the She Wins Women, Wealth, Wisdom, and Legacy podcast. If today's episode sparked a shift in how you think about your money, your future, or your legacy, imagine what's possible when we walk this journey together. And if you found value in today's conversation, please share this episode with a woman you care about. Together, we rise and we win. If this inspired you to take charge of your financial future, don't stop there. Download your free guide, A Woman's Guide to Triumph in Every Decade of Her Wealth, by clicking the link on the screen or in the show notes. It's designed to give you powerful tools and clarity at every stage of your wealth journey. And be sure to follow or subscribe now so you never miss an episode. Until next time, stay wise, stay empowered, and remember, it's time to rise, lead, and win with your wealth, your wisdom, and your legacy. As a reminder, the content shared on this podcast is intended for informational and educational purposes only. It does not constitute personalized financial advice. For guidance tailored to your specific situation, you can schedule an appointment with Carol. This is an independent podcast not affiliated with Money Concepts Capital Corporation.